Welcome back to another Sunday walk video. I think it's been a couple of weeks since I've done one of these. The last one was in Singapore, I believe at the airport. But today let's talk about what to look forward to this coming week and why I still remain very, very bullish. I don't think that has changed, at least not since yesterday. Alright, so what to look forward to this week? Well, as I'm filming this, Bitcoin is still like, mid 65, 7-ish right now. So still holding very well. We haven't seen any volatility this weekend. Sometimes we see volatility on Sunday when the Asian markets open. Maybe we'll see that, but this last week obviously has been fantastic. This coming week, let's see. Obviously the big narrative last week was liquidity injection from China, and the US is on pace to do that also. So this week we're getting a lot of economic data, which again gives Powell more ammunition for more rate cuts coming up in November. So we gotta wait. There's no rate cuts, no FOMC meeting set in October. So the next one is in November. So we got a whole month, like a month and a half before we see another one. But you know what? Up until then, we're still gonna get a lot of numbers, and I guess we'll see. Because last Friday we also got a really good inflation reading, so that's good. Lower than expected. I believe on Monday we will see Powell speak. I don't remember where or why, but I'm assuming he's going to talk about something like, hey, inflation's coming down. All my policies are working, something along those lines. I'm hearing a lot of footsteps over there. That's why I'm looking. Anyways, besides Powell speaking on Monday, Wednesday, basically throughout this week, we're going to see more economic numbers, in particular with jobs, labor force. So I do believe we're going to get a unemployment reading and also jobs report, which is pretty big. Of course, whenever we get a jobs report, it's pretty significant. Because we do know that the U.S. economy is slowing down, right? Well, we don't want to see our numbers that are tanking, that are collapsing. Yes, if numbers are going down, it makes sense. That's why Powell wants to cut the rates, to kind of slow the bleeding, right? The liquidity injection. So that makes a whole lot of sense. So as long as the numbers come in okay, in line with expectations, or maybe just slightly, little bit below expectation, I think we'll be good. If we see numbers that are really, really bad, then I think that's going to spook markets. But I don't think we're going to see that. I don't know. Everything I'm seeing right now does not indicate that we're like falling into full-blown recession. Yes, things are slowing down. That's why Powell is making a big effort to cut rates as quick as you can, right? To kind of stop the bleeding, so to speak, and in turn, just get the money start flowing, right? That's what we want, money to flow. So that's what to look forward to this week. We got Powell speaking on Monday. We got a lot of economic data in regards to the labor force, unemployment, and job numbers. Okay, that may move markets, but I honestly don't think, unless the numbers are horrible, I don't think we're going to see a lot of market movement because of them. Now, it'd be interesting to see if China does more. Last week they announced so much already. I don't think they're going to be announcing any more stimulus or liquidity injection news this week. If they do, then that means they're in a really bad spot. They have already announced so much, so I don't think we'll hear anything from China this week. But what about other countries? I don't know. Other countries go follow. We'll see. Outside of that, what else is there? Well, as for Bitcoin crypto, obviously, I think the macro conditions, liquidity injections, obviously have a lot to do with Bitcoin coming up, right? Yesterday, I was asked a question, like, George, what do you think is going to push Bitcoin higher, right? Because it seems like we're hovering around this point, and yes, everyone's anticipating October is going to be good, October and the rest of this year is going to be good, but what's the catalyst? What's going to push us higher? Well, ultimately, if you think about it, you need more buyers, right? That's what you need, more buyers than sellers. So one of the big catalysts is the liquidity event. So if you look at, you know, like the last four, like not the last four cycles, but like the last few cycles, and the fourth year of those cycles, and the third year of those cycles, like the halving years, like this year, what you'll notice is a similarity. It could be a coincidence, but all those years you had a liquidity event, like what we're seeing right now, and a lot of it has to do with China, a lot of it has to do with the US. So it just so happens it kind of correlates for whatever reason. So that's a huge catalyst, right? Obviously, when the money starts flowing, that's how buyers come in, because there's a lot of money out there. So that's one big catalyst in terms of why we will probably have an October and a beautiful November, December. But also you have elections. In case you didn't know, the halving event happens to fall on election year every single year. Every single time. So there's that too. So I think that's also a big catalyst as well. You either have, you know, you have a new president coming in, and then the markets are happy and so forth, right? Like new agenda, new policies, new whatever. I don't know if that has to do with it, but if you look at the last few cycles, it's all been new presidents. So, and we know for sure we're getting a new one this time around too. So that also could be a big driver, a big catalyst. So things are aligning. And obviously, outside of macro stuff, like the micro stuff, right? Like the fundamentals continue to grow stronger. The things I've been showing you guys, they eventually add up. Like, for example, the reserves. The reserves keeps dropping on the exchanges. Even though there is still a lot of Bitcoin left on the exchanges, but the graph just like shows a downward movement. Like, that's all it shows right now, right? It's going to add up eventually. And you look at BlackRock's holdings is in the inverse, right? Like this. So BlackRock's holdings go up, exchange reserves goes down, eventually it's going to add up, right? So fundamentals like that is still continuing to get better. It's great, but they continue to get better. And this cycle, Bitcoin's fundamentals are better than previous cycles. Just really that simple. So, yeah. So I think I'm really bullish. I think the coming months are going to be absolutely fantastic. It's good that we saw this surge this last week, because it's a good reminder, like I said yesterday in my crypto cruise video, it's a good reminder that we had good days and we're going to get more good days, right? But since we've been down and sideways and beaten for so long, we forgot what it feels like. So it's a good reminder that, yeah, better days are coming. So what about alts? Well, I got an interesting take for you guys. And the take is September may be the low point for alts of this cycle. Take a second to think about that. Obviously the alts are higher than, 2023 and 2022, but I mean like of this year, since our peak of March. Obviously since March till now, Bitcoin has been going down since 73 down to where we are. Well, it went down further to 49, and then we kind of hovered in the 50s. Now we're like 60s climbing up, right? But alts went down a lot further. Alts shot up. We had a mini altcoin season in March, April, and then fell down drastically, like 50% within a matter of months, right? And I do think we may have bottomed in September. It's very early to make this call, but seeing how October, November, and December could be extremely bullish, and I think so. I think the alts will get a resurgence like what we saw last week. I think we'll see a lot of money flow back in. I think the memes will start pumping. I think a lot of the L1s and L2s that's been hammered will gain strength back. And that's why I think September could actually be like the low for alts. And Bitcoin dominance may actually start coming down a little bit. Does that mean that we're going to go into altcoin season? No. That won't happen truly until sometime in 2025. But as Bitcoin gains strength, as more money comes into the market, you will see more retail players come in. Right now, obviously, I talk a lot about like the institutions and countries and companies, right? The ETF inflows, I cover a lot of that. And that's primarily going into Bitcoin, obviously, the big boys, the smart money, right? But what about the retail investors? Well, a lot of them are going straight into memes or alts. And we haven't seen much movement since March or April timeframe, but I think you're going to start seeing retail come back. They're going to think things are exciting once again, right? And you're going to see a resurgence of them, and we're going to see like kind of like a mini altcoin season. I think we're going to see that. And it's going to be good. It's going to be good. So let's see if I'm right. Obviously, it's still very early. We only had maybe like 1.5 weeks of really good positive movement on alts. But if this week heading into October turns out to be fantastic, and the remaining October turns out to be even more fantastic, I think you're going to see a lot of alts start really moving back up to their previous high from earlier this year, and even surpassing them and continue upwards. So look out for them. I think a lot of the chains, like the L1, L2s from earlier this year that were super hot, like for example, even BNB, Solana, Avalanche, a lot of the ones from Cosmos, like Injective, Say, Sui is not out of Cosmos, but Sui is another one. You got Cosmos itself, Polygon. Some of these that have been beaten, they're starting to come back. Near's another one. You know, you're starting to see them come back, right? So I think a lot of these, you could see some tremendous movement this week. Hopefully, like Cardano also joins in the game. And then you got so many others that I didn't even name. So I think we're going to see a lot of these gain momentum. Also, I think you're going to see a lot more memes start moving. Last week was a surprise for memes. I think they may have moved a little bit too quickly. Like Sheeb and Doge and Pepe, they all went up like 40-50%. I'm not quite sure if retail really all FOMO'd in, or there's a little manipulation from the whales. Maybe a combination of both. But I do think memes will start getting hot again. Some of the ones I've been holding are starting to get their strength back, which is good. But yeah, I think in addition to Bitcoin possibly hitting 70,000 in the near future and breaking into all-time high this month. I'm pretty confident about that it will happen this month. Maybe not right away, but I'm pretty confident it will happen this month. I think we're going to see a resurgence with alts and memes once again, kind of like how we saw back in March and April, and we could close out this year fantastic for all of crypto. Like I said, it's early, but it makes a whole lot of sense if you think about it. All right, guys, that's it for this video. Let's see what happens this week with Powell, with the labor force, and with Bitcoin and crypto overall. I remain bullish. Hopefully you guys remain bullish as well. And I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Smash it a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.